Florian Rajepi has come a long way. The Muslim immigrant is the co-owner of a small cafe and a dean at St. Johnsbury Academy.
I'm very fortunate, to be honest.
But it's hard work that got him here after an upbringing exposed to war and conflict in Macedonia.
8 years old, I started experiencing firsthand what it was like to see the divisions of people climax into extreme violence.
So at 17, he came to the United States. He was dropped off as a student on the St. Johnsbury Academy campus, bringing with him only a suitcase and some hope.
Coming here was like a dream come true for me. I didn't know what to expect. I was very young.
As he began to learn the language and become part of the community, Rajepi says he realized that American values very much aligned with his own.
People value hard work, value knowledge, value culture.
Rajepi says he still believes those things, even in the wake of the current political climate involving Muslim immigrants like himself.
Improvement, development comes as a group effort, as a collective effort, not as an individual one. That you can go way further in cooperation than in competition.
He says a lot does concern him right now.
We associate extreme violence with religion. One of the biggest dangers of humankind today is that.
But he maintains a positive outlook.
Bridging differences is a very important thing. We all have them, but we tend to focus on them more than the similarities that we have.
Because Rajepi says inclusion is what put him where he is today.
I was helped by many people. And the one thing that I will always take away with me, no matter what, from this experience is that people are good.